Hey, fifth graders. Today you just watched a video that was all about the different classes of levers. There are 3 classes of levers, and it's all based on where those important parts are, right? So the important parts of a lever are the fulcrum. So I have an F for fulcrum, the load, so an owl for load, and the effort, so E for effort. And the classes are 1, 2, 3. I like to think of this as FLE 1, 2, 3. And notice how it rhymes. So if the fulcrum's in the middle, it's a 1. The load is in the middle, it's a 2. And if the effort's in the middle, it's a 3. So again, we like to think of it as, there we go, FLE 1, 2, 3. Or I think of it like this too, FLE 1, 2, 3. So now with that in mind, let's get started. We're going to take a look at some pictures of everyday levers. That's another big idea. What are examples in our real world of actual levers? So, lever pictures, we will identify the 3 parts, and then we'll determine which class of lever it is. All right, so here's a fishing rod. A fishing rod is a lever. What a lever is that stiff arm used to lift something. So it's a stiff arm, stiff bar, right? Used to lift a fish, right? So we have the fish would be at the end of it. So that would be our load. The load is whatever we're lifting. So we're lifting a fish. There's the load. Our effort is going to be right here where that where the crank is. I don't remember what it's called. Right? So that's where our effort would be. And the fulcrum is where it's going back and forth. And so I think of how the whole fishing rod is going to be turning on this almost like imaginary fulcrum right here. All right, so notice, by the way, F for fulcrum, E is for effort, L is for load. So I know I didn't say that, but I think hopefully you're getting the hang of that. All right, so let's check it. All right, success, we got it. So remember, we want to look at the class of lever now, and there's 3 different types. There's class 1, 2, or 3. Remember class 1, F, right? F, and then L, load in the middle, or E, class 3E, effort in the middle. Remember, it's whatever's in the middle. So FLE 1, 2, 3, E is in the middle, which tells me it's a class 3, E3. They rhyme. Hopefully you're getting the hang of that too. All right, so I think it's a class 3. Let's check it. We got it, success. Let's do another one. This is a paper cutter. You maybe have seen teachers use these. So they would put a piece of paper into the middle right here, and then they would pull down on this and it would cut the paper. So this right here, this part is the lever. This would be the stiff bar that rotates on a fulcrum. Right now, the piece of paper goes here. That's really the load. The load usually is whatever you're trying to lift, but it's whatever you're trying to move. So you're moving paper. So the load goes here. Load is the paper. Now again, the effort, think about where does your hand go? The effort is wherever your hand goes, right? Wherever that muscle is. So my hand goes here on the handle. The fulcrum is where it is, again, it's moving on that point. So here's where the fulcrum would be. Now remember, FLE, 1, 2, 3, L, FL, the L is in the middle. So, oops, get onto that part. There you go. So FLE, 1, 2, 3. The load is in the middle. So FL, L for load in the middle, class 2. Check it. Success. Let's do another. This is a almost like a scissors, but we use it for trimming bushes or little branches on trees. So it's really sharp right here. It actually has a couple wedges there, but it is a lever because it opens and closes kind of like a pair of scissors, right? So just like a pair of scissors, it opens and closes like a lever. So let's check it out. We have our load is whatever, again, we're moving or cutting. So the load is going to go there. The effort is where our hands go. Our hands go on handles. So the effort goes on the handles. And the fulcrum is where it moves back and forth. Now, just like on a scissors, there we go. On a scissors, here's that fulcrum because it's where it's moving back and forth. Or if think about if I had it this way, it's where it's moving back and forth. So the fulcrum goes right there. Check this lever. We got it. All right, now remember F, L, E. F, L, E. So the F is in the middle, fulcrum in the middle or in between, right? It's not perfectly in the middle, but anywhere in between, that makes it whatever class, right? So F, fulcrum in the middle, class 1. FLE 1, 2, 3. Check it. Got it. Next one, we'll do, I think, just one or two more, right? If you're getting the hang of this, it's totally fine at this point to move on because you're going to do this on a few, but I'm going to keep on going with just a few more, couple more practices. Again, though, totally fine if you're ready, you can move on and you can start labeling some pictures in the next couple, and then you'll actually tell if it's a 1, a 2, or a 3. Let's do the golf club, right? So for the golf club, right, we have, first of all, the load is the golf ball, and it's going to be moved by the bottom part. So the load. Now, this one's kind of tricky, but you have to think, where do you actually put your hand? Do you put your hands for a golf club at the very, very, very tip of the end? Or is it down a little bit more? Down a little bit more. It should be, your hands should be here if you were to even go mini golfing or putt-putt, or if you're actually doing golfing, your hand goes here. Here's the effort. The fulcrum on the very end. Let's check it. Got it. All right. F, L, E. Look, what's in the middle? Here it is, right? F, L, E. That means class 3, E3. Check it. We got it. Now remember, totally fine if you're moving on. Here's a wheelbarrow. This is something that is used so often. As a matter of fact, right outside of my house right now, I have some people moving some rocks for me using a wheelbarrow, used in gardens all over, right? So wheelbarrow, great example. Now, I noticed there's handles. That's a huge hint. That's where I put my hand. So that's where the effort is. I'm going to put my load into the big bucket. So that's another big hint there. The load goes into the bucket. And the fulcrum, again, is where it's going up and down. When you lift up a wheelbarrow, it lifts, this whole part lifts. You might think, how is this a lever? It's because this here is the strong bar that is lifting, and there's actually two of them. So it's lifting up. I know you can't hardly see my arm there, but it's lifting up in order to take this load away. So here's the fulcrum. Continue. Now remember, F, L, E, 1, 2, 3. Let's try that. F, L, E, 1, 2, 3. What's in the middle? The L is in the middle, right? So that means I'm going to do this one more time. F, L. L is in the middle. L is in between. So that means it's a class 2. Class 2 levers have the load in between. There we go. All right, for those of you still with me, we've got the teeter-totter. A teeter-totter is that fun thing at a playground that you maybe have played on. Now, for this one, we're going to say that the load is the one that is down at the bottom because it's what we're trying to lift up. The effort would be the person on the other end of it trying to make it go down, right? The fulcrum is where it goes back and forth in the middle, right? Now remember, F, L, E. What's in the middle? The F is in the middle. So F-L-E, F in the middle. I said that first. It's a class 1. Last one, the fly swatter. So fly swatter, I'm thinking my load would be the fly. It's what I'm trying to actually smush. So my load is here. And this is very similar to those other ones where we don't put our hand on the very, very end of it. We put our hand up a little bit more, gives us more, when we're thinking about leverage, something called leverage, notice the word lever inside of the word leverage. We want to have we don't want it just on the very, very end. I don't have a lot of grip there, right? And here's the fulcrum. Check it. And F-L-E, what type? E in the middle. I remember E goes with 3. There you go. All right, so we're going to be done now. We're not going to do this one. This one is actually a paint can, but we're going to skip this one for now. So now it's time for you to go ahead and do this on the pictures on the following pages. Good luck with those.